Today we're looking at the Halo Infinite Needler. As we all know, this is a rapid-fire projectile automatic that shoots blamite crystal shards. The shards themselves exhibit homing behavior that tracks enemies, and on top of that, if you shoot enough needles into a player, it will cause a deadly super combined explosion. Now what's different with the Halo Infinite Needler? All the returning weapons so far have had changes made to them, and for the most part it seems like there are changes to create less lethal variants of weapons from Halo 5. Man, it's like the theme we've seen with the weapon sandbox in Halo Infinite, right? It's toned down a bit from H5, but what about the Needler? Well, let's check it out. In terms of rate of fire, the Infinite Needler fires 12 needles per second, or about 720 needles per minute, while the Halo 5 Needler fires 8 per second or 480 per minute, so significantly faster firing in Halo Infinite. For velocity, the Infinite Needle projectile travels about 37 meters per second, while in Halo 5 about 33 meters per second, which means the Infinite Needles reach the target faster compared to H5. Fun fact though is the Hailstorm Needler variant in Halo 5 has the same 37 meter per second velocity as the Infinite Needler. Now for kill times. In Halo Infinite, it takes 12 needles to kill a player with a TTK of 1 second, and on the other hand, in Halo 5 it takes 7 needles to kill with a TTK of 0.9 seconds. Again, one thing to keep in mind is that projectile weapon TTK increases the farther a target is away from you, and that's pretty straightforward. Projectiles have travel times. TTK will vary in combat depending on the distance. Now one thing I want to bring to your attention is the magazine size. In Halo Infinite, the Needler holds 26 needles, which means off 12 needles per kill, only a max of 2 kills per mag. In Halo 5 though, the Needler has a 22 needle mag, which on 7 needles per kill gives a max of 3 possible kills. Thus, kill potential in Halo 5 is higher, and these are pretty much the stats of the two Needlers. The Halo Infinite version has a higher rate of fire and velocity, but is slightly weaker per needle, requiring 12 for a super combine versus Halo 5's 7. In addition, Infinite's has a slightly longer TTK, 1 second versus Halo 5's 0.9. Now for myself, these are very small differences, these various combos of rates of fire versus velocity versus damage output, and minor TTK gap. This is not where the main and significant difference lies. That lies in Needler tracking ability. Which Needler tracks the target more aggressively? Well, in Halo Infinite, the reticle of the Needler must border the Spartan hitbox and be within the red reticle range. If it is not, the needles will not track the player. This is true for Hipfire and for SmartLink. So obviously this requires you to aim a little bit closer to the body of the Spartan. On the other hand, in Halo 5, the needles do not have to border the hitbox. Matter of fact, they can be way off target. Yet, they can still lock on and aggressively home in on the enemy. Same concept for Hipfire and SmartLink in H5. Now, we'll do more additional tests when the full game launches for more data, but I did also do some strafing and thrust tests. And it looks like in Halo Infinite, the Needler can be avoided to a certain degree by simply strafing left and right. Hard cuts, directional changes. On the flip side, in Halo 5, that Needler seeks you out and pretty much ends your strafing career. But to me that's kind of understandable because it's designed around players having the thrust ability. And on close inspection, thrust actually breaks the aggressive needle tracking in Halo 5, which is pretty interesting. Also, I'm going to add in Halo 5, sprint allows some avoiding of needles by allowing your Spartan to basically outrun the tracking. So these Needler tracking differences make sense since Halo Infinite has less Spartan abilities and slower sprint speed as well. There is no intrinsic player thrust ability like in Halo 5, thus the Infinite Needler has less aggressive tracking ability set in its design. You need to aim closer to the player and be more accurate with your placement of needles compared to that of Halo 5. Alright, that's gonna be it for the Needler. These were pretty much the changes that were made, so hopefully you got a better understanding of how this weapon functions. I'm also thinking about making a short follow-up Needler video to talk about the sound design, but we'll see. As always, thank you for watching, and until next time.